Hi, my name's KarinaCurry. I use she, hers. And for my senior project, I want to take a contemporary lens to Chris Marker's Staring Back exhibition that came out in 2007. And I want to do an analysis of staring and surveillance. I read and looked at Staring Back really recently in a media studies seminar with Molly Nesbitt, and I was just struck immediately by the similarities between Marker's photography and like recent surveillance footage. I had known that I wanted to do something in surveillance and regarding the recent protests for my final project, and I wanted to specifically think about, the awareness that was being raised and that has been raised recently about not sharing photographs of people's faces in these protests, and then thinking about how that relates to Marker's work on activism and staring and photography. I've also always been really interested in Lacan and the gaze, and so I'll be using a lot of his theories along with those of Balabar and Agamben and Deleuze to really anchor my project. I want to just generally think about what staring means in activism and in media. Who gets to stare at who, the dangers of staring too long, what it means to photograph staring. I want to discuss the protest selfie and the selfie's use in social movements as one construction of staring as well. And then I will look at the photographic medium that Marker uses, and I just want to explore its very eerie similarities to surveillance footage. And I want to ask then, what constitutes surveillance? I'll look at questions regarding what staring means to activism. And then basically I want my final project to be a thesis on staring and the gaze in both art and surveillance. And I really want to look at this newfound tension that's arisen between the two things. And then along with the thesis, I'd like to compile an archive of surveillance footage and photography that will be manipulated in Marker fashion, but will have a twist. I'm thinking of blurring out faces or other ways of manipulating and sort of getting around facial recognition, which is obviously the big issue of surveillance today. And through all of this, I will try to answer questions, not just on surveillance and photography, but of something very simple, which is the gaze and art as this accelerator of acceptance and peace, and surveillance as this sort of mechanism of oppression and danger. Yeah, so it's not fully fleshed out yet, but those are the things I'm really thinking about.